All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Vana. Sorry, we couldn't come online for last couple of weeks, but here we are. We have Somo and Vinay with us. And thank you, Sridhar, for setting this up for us. Myself, Kashyap. Today, it's been T20 season now. After all the amazing and memorable tests we had for last few months in Australia, in India against England, some great test matches to remember for a long time. Now we are into T20 with T20 World Cup coming this October and November in India. England is playing 5 T20Is against India, and then soon after that there's a 3 ODI series, but then we will move on to IPL 2021. There were some scheduling challenges. I want to talk about that too. But before that, we will start with the T20 series, India and England. It's currently 2-2 after 4 games. The final decider will be on Saturday. So, Vana, are you watching?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes. Yes, it's a great series. I'm happy in that it is 2-2 because I didn't want England winning today and the final game is going to be a moot point. So I'm glad it is 2-2, and whoever wins, the better team. Let's hope the better team wins and they have a good game. Obviously, there are some new finds who bowled and batted really well. Some notable failures in KL Rahul, which I'm a little bit disappointed. He's one of the best one-day batsmen, a white ball cricket player, and whatever is happening, he's not getting some runs. So, notable one was obviously today's Suryakumar Yadav. What a brilliant innings he had! I tell you that more and more I watch him, more and more I enjoy his batting.
Is there anything more stunning than his first 6 to start your international runs?
Yes, and obviously that Ishan Kishan, he started his international debut with a 4 of the first ball. So obviously Suryakumar Yadav did one better than Ishan Kishan. Yeah. I tell you, I think there are 2 new finds in my opinion. I'm glad Kohli sent him number 3 versus him coming. I think that speaks volume of the team concept in the Indian cricket team, which I like. And obviously, we thought Chehal would not be dropped, and obviously with the beating he got last game, this new kid came and he bowled really well. I mean, he gave a lot of runs, but he really performed really well in my opinion. Got a couple of wickets, and it's a good entry to the arena. So a lot of things are happening. Obviously, good new finds, and Rishabh Pant played some good knocks. Kohli 2 innings, 70 not out, 75 or 78 not out, both of them a brilliant innings, especially the one that a couple of days ago he did after a couple of wickets fell pretty early. How he paced the innings was extremely good. Obviously, he's one of the best, and he proved that how good he is under the circumstances. All in all, it's a great T20 cricket I'm watching. It's really good, and obviously we really have a little bit of a deficiency in coping up with the real pace because Mark Wood and Jofra Archer really had them going for a while.
Yeah. So I'm glad they're being challenged and it's not being so easy for them. And actually, Nangan, I'm not even interested in the result. I mean, I don't mind if England once had 1-3-1 or 4-1 even. I just wanted them to fine tune the team composition and their approach so that they are ready for the World Cup because yes, IPL it's a great fanfare, but they haven't been a great T20 team ever since they won the first World Cup.
Correct.
There are too many one-dimensional players, not many all-rounders. You have top 6 who doesn't bowl at all. You go with only 5 bowlers. It's been a very rigid T20 team as an international team, and especially I think that's why for the last 2 years when Mumbai Indians started rolling over all the teams, many were of the opinion that I think Mumbai Indians is a better T20 team than India, which I'm not going to debate, but I mean,
Yes.
they have
You're
4 internationals, so that's a different story. But England team is doing somewhat like an IPL team because they have someone, they have an Irish captain, they have a New Zealand all-rounder, they have a Caribbean fast bowler in Archer. So I
Yeah.
think you can say England is kind of an IPL team with a lot
You
of
know, the one thing that I noticed today was which really gave me a little bit of a hope for the sixth bowler or fifth bowler, however you want to call Hardik Pandya. He bowled extremely well today. I think if he's going to bowl the way he's going to bowl, or at least he can bowl 4 overs, would make a tremendous difference in the team, composition of the team. It's probably more well balanced after that, I guess. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, hopefully with Bumrah coming back, it will be much better. And maybe Chahal should be back in form because, I mean, this bowling attack on paper was very weak. I mean,
very weak, yeah.
to go with only 5 that consists of Hardik, Shardul, and Chahar, and even Sundar for that matter. I mean, he's not I mean, I don't see him being someone who will rip through the top order, have like 3 or 4 wicket spell, but he's usually very economical, which was also not the case today. For the first time when he went above 50 runs.
Yeah, so, 52 runs.
But yeah, I mean, and also you can see from the top 4 batting, except for Surya, between Rohit, Rahul, and KL, they batted a little less than a run a ball.
Yeah.
Total.
And
I think they scored like 30 runs out of 34 balls or something like that. So
for me, this very surprising thing was how Kohli got out today. Was you know what? I would never expect coming out of the crease and hitting that early in the ball game. I didn't expect
that. Was his ego. I think especially having been getting out to Adil Rashid so many times, I think he just wanted to stamp that and say, hey, I can tame this Rashid guy. And I think that's where he fell.
Yes.
Because he's actually improved against spin, I must say. I mean, he's, both Rohit and, Kohli are not as great as Sachin or Lakshman against leg spin. We have already seen that. But
yes.
But yeah, anyway, so with that, and you know what, Kohli might be sitting out next game. Looking at he didn't feel he had some niggle. Kohli. First of all, Rohit captain for our fielding innings, which again, Twitter was on fire saying, we need Rohit as captain. Look at that. He was able to defend the score. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Mumbai Indians are the best when it comes to defending a score in T20 because no other team does that. It's always, win, toss, chase, and win, right? I mean, even for the first 3 games, it was just win, toss, field first, and win. So for the first time, we won while batting first. So the decider on Saturday, I don't mind if Kohli sits out, Rohit captains, and Ishan comes in.
Well, you know what? The reason I think he might sit out is he has a little bit of a niggle. He said he moved a little differently and he got a little niggle. That's good. And maybe that's a good thing because Rohit can captain and somebody else can come and bat. And
Kishan. It's got to be Ishan Kishan who will be back. I mean, but yeah, I mean, more than that, I mean, whether he has a niggle or not, I think he's been playing since England series anyway. I mean, after Adelaide Test, he went out, but then, is playing all the games and, there's more to come with, a lot of IPL and WTC and England series. Bumrah getting married. I didn't know why he was rested, but I mean, he got married last week. So
yeah, last week he got married. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Vinod is here. Vinod, you want to come on camera? Vinay, are you watching the India-England T20?
Yeah, I'm catching a little bit of it, in the mornings. It's been great. I mean, obviously it's a great series. I'm also glad that it's 2-2 and it makes for an exciting decider. But for me, like you had said, it's really just about, it's not even about the series. It's more about preparing for the World Cup, and because it's going to become every 2 years. It's going to be 2 years in a row now, but every 2 years ordeal, and we always have to have a good side. So it's trying combinations for that. And I think the biggest takeaway that we can all agree on is that there's just such a tragedy of riches, and we have just so many players that can play well, and it's going to be difficult to find the right combination, and on that day who all fires and stuff. I'll also echo that it's a little sad that KL Rahul's kind of failed the last 3-4 innings now. I do agree with most of the people saying he needs a little bit more of a leash. Like, I think so, and I hope they give him that leash.
And they did. I think when, for the first 3 games, he was 0-1-0. And then, Kohli and Shastri came out and said, he is, I mean, it's good to hear that, saying that Rohit and KL are their first choice T20 openers, and they want to give him that. They know he can turn the game. And Rohit and KL have, I think, a 50 plus average as openers. And they've done amazing. I mean, especially KL in T20Is, which is probably his strongest format at this point.
Yeah.
So it's good that they have confidence in him and they want him to give that run and bring him back to form, which is great. So that means he will play the 5th game.
Not only he'll play the 5th game, he'll also play the first game of the 50-over game too. He'll open with Rohit, in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, as long as Dhawan is not playing, I'm happy.
No, Dhawan is not playing. He's done. I think he's pretty much done, in my opinion.
I hope so. But I mean, one other question before we switch topic a little bit. Are some players, I mean, it might be too soon, but I mean, with Rohit, I mean, yes, if Dhawan was not so bad in form, I still don't think, having Rohit, I mean, that's what has been bogging Indian T20 team for the last couple of years, is having Rohit, Dhawan, Kohli, and now with Shreyas and Manish, they're all pretty much a similar player. They don't go bang, bang, bang from the first over like KL in form, or even Ishan Kishan and Surya. So I think you need that change. And I think it was quite one-dimensional in that sense. Everybody needs 10 to 12 balls to get in. Nobody, you rarely see anyone having 20 out of 10 in their first 10 balls. So I think that's where India was lacking. And I'm kind of happy that Dhawan is out of that scene for now. And hopefully KL will be back. And looks like Rohit and Kohli, more so Kohli, is actually trying harder to get into that T20 mode, that West Indian or Mumbai Indian kind of a T20 approach. Vinod, hi, welcome.
Hi.
Hey. So any insights on the India-England T20 series so far?
Yeah, Vinod would have a few. That's pleasant, isn't it?
Unless he's been busy and not watching.
No, I've been watching the first 3 today. I didn't watch much, and I was surprised that we landed up winning.
Yeah.
But overall, I just saw the Surya Kumar Yadav's innings. It was pretty good, and I was happy with the way Ishan Kishan played.
Mm-hmm.
But both the left-handers, Ishan Kishan and Pant, are again becoming the same kind of people who scoop the ball to the leg side for a 6. So I'm just wondering, has they figured out Shreyas Iyer, they might figure out these 2 folks very soon.
Yeah,
so
it's another extreme of one-dimensional now.
Yeah, one-dimensional players. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that you said is the bowlers is what worries me. What's the combination we are going to go with bowlers is what worries me. We got away with this test match. I don't think we had a good string of bowlers. I think they've figured out Washington Sundar. He's now pretty much a batsman in the team. That's it. So I think we probably have to at least go with 2 specialist bowlers and do something about it.
If you're going to have Washington as a pure batsman, he doesn't even get into the team. Period. It's over.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with having Sundar in your set of only 5 bowlers is very, very risky.
Well, the role he plays on RCB is, he doesn't take the opening overs and he doesn't take the death overs. He's the power play bowler, and he keeps the runs at bay. So if I don't know, maybe they have figured him out. Maybe, I mean, he got slapped around the entire park today. But I think, if he does still have a chance, I feel like he can still be that all rounder. I don't know. He did so well in last IPL. It was unbelievable. Remember, like, he was the best power play bowler by far in the entire tournament.
Once Jadeja comes in, that's when the question comes, right?
Right.
Once Jadeja
I think that's where Sundar will be in the mix. I mean, surely not in the 11 every game, but he will be in the 15, 16, whatever the combination is. And depending on the conditions and the balance they want to add, If Hardik and Jadeja are both fit and now that Shardul Thakur is doing well, then Sundar becomes your number 4 all-rounder, which will probably be on the bench for a long time. But then, with Hardik and Jadeja both being so fragile, you need that balancing act. So if Hardik isn't there, then you get another fast bowler.
I think if for T20, if Tewatia and Krunal Pandey can get even 80% as good as Sundar, then we have a better option than Sundar, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Krunal Pandey
Yeah, unfortunately, Tewatia got injured just before the series. I mean, he was in the original team, but he got injured, so that's why he's not getting.
Look, I think the look of the T20 team changes a little bit based on how the IPL goes and who performs there.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a combination of those people coming into the fray as well.
Yeah, I know. I think we already know that Bumrah will be back for sure, right? For the international, for the World Cup at least. I mean, it's many months away. You don't know, how the injuries will work out. But if everyone is fit, then we already know that Bumrah and Jadeja will be back.
Yeah, the one thing with Bumrah.
Sorry.
Do you play Bhuvaneshwar Kumar with Bumrah?
I think so, but he needs more match time. Hopefully, IPL will train him, because I think he's been out of real match fitness for a long time. So, but I'm still kind of impressed that even after such a long layoff, he hasn't been poor, but he hasn't been his best yet.
Even today, he played pretty good, Kunal.
Yeah,
he did well.
Yeah, he is doing well. I mean, especially today for the first 3 overs, they kept them in check. It was like, I think there were only 8 out of first 3 overs between Bhuvan and Pandya.
And also, he bowled the 17th over or something like that.
He's doing good. So I think Bhuvan should be back, and I think especially Kohli and Shastri have huge confidence in him.
I think he's very key for this entire year. I think if he can have a successful IPL, then he can go to the World the test, whatever. Maybe he can sit on the bench for the WTC. Then he can go to England and he can play in the tests there, and he can move the ball in English conditions.
But
and then he can play in the World Cup as well. Like, I think he has if he can stay healthy, his biggest problem is obviously his health.
That's where I was going. If
very injury prone.
By the list of games that you suggested, if he ends up playing all of them, he will be out of World Cup.
I know. By that time, he'll run out of gas. But I really,
I don't mind.
Keep it up and luck is on his side, he can make it.
Yeah, I don't mind not having Bhuvan in the tests, but only thing is it's in England, and I would like to have him. But again, his first spell will be awesome. It's about whether his 20th over of the day will still be as good. That's where the challenge comes in. I mean, he is a great new ball bowler. It's always been like, what does he do with when the ball is
especially in the England condition, he will be very really good.
Yeah. He has a couple of 5 anyway. So we'll go to England and the tests later, maybe not in this episode.
So I have one last question if we have the time. I just wanted to ask you guys, what it's probably, I don't know if it's been talked about much, I haven't been reading, but what do you guys think about the whole selection process in terms of how you weigh IPL with how you weigh domestic? And the reason I ask that is because I am a little biased, and with all these new players coming in, I am worried about how Devdutt Padikkal is going to be in the mix as well, because he obviously had a pretty decent IPL last time. He for sure has to fire this IPL if he wants to make a stamp. But he had such a fantastic Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy thing. Yes. He did amazing in Vijay Hazare.
Hazare as well.
Putting crazy runs, and he's not in the mix at all. And I don't know if he'll make it to the World Cup team at all, or if he plays in the white ball team. But I would love to see him. But again, he's that left arm. He's the left-hand bat opener, and that's taken up right now by Ishan Kishan. It's taken up by you have KL Rahul, Rohit opening anyways. They're the first selection. How do you see that shaping up, and does it relate to how people weigh IPL performance with domestic performance? And I wanted to get your guys' take on that before I leave the topic.
Yeah, 2 things. I mean, if I can go first on Padikkal, is I think he will surely play for India sometime. I mean, maybe, I don't know if he will get a spot in current World Cup already. But I mean, one IPL is good. It's not that, I mean, he set it on fire, but he did really impress. But, you need to show at least another IPL season but I mean, domestically, he did great. Vijay Hazare, like you said, for the first time ever in Indian domestic history. He scored 4 consecutive ODI hundreds. But then again, Prithvi Shaw did one better than him.
Exactly.
I mean, not in the consecutive hundreds, but he had like 3 scores of 165, 185, and then he also had
227, something like that.
220
Yeah.
something.
He scored 800 runs.
He broke Mayank Agarwal's record of the highest, total score, like I think 800 something. But
I think Mayank was 731. He scored 827.
Yeah,
Scored more than Mayank anyway.
Exactly.
Mayank isn't even in the mix right now either.
Yeah, Padikkal is, so it's a tough competition, like you said, and IPL and the other domestics are being considered. I don't think anything is being ignored, but yeah, I mean, IPL, I think one thing where IPL pips other competitions is in the temperament and how you handle pressure. IPL is, I think, more high pressure, high visibility,
more than high pressure, I would say high visibility, and also competing with the international players is
exactly. Yeah, that's what. For example, I think that's where Bumrah and Hardik Pandyas and others, even Surya Kumar Yadav, like why they shone was, if they need to score 15 runs of the last over by Dale Steyn in an IPL game, it's much better than scoring 180 against even Vinay Kumar and Mithun's in domestic, right? So I think that's where it comes, and that's where you get that impression. I mean, I think and we all see that. I mean, especially after last year's IPL. I mean, it's not like nobody else has done as good as Ishan Kishan or Surya Kumar Yadav last year. But if you recollect, we talked about them and we said, I think these two are ready for India colors. And I mean, we were not the only ones. I mean, it was pretty much all over the country, even outside the country, including many other English and West Indian experts as well, saying it baffles me how Surya is not in the team, right? I mean, it's understandable, but they are doing it. It doesn't mean that they are there forever. We have seen many people coming in, having excellent domestic record, coming in, they do well in their debut, but then we need to see how consistent they are. Can they win you games? Just like Shreyas Iyer,
yeah. It's one thing I'm going to tell you. Of course, they got a lot of Vijay Hazare. They got a lot of runs. I'll give it to them.
Right.
But the standard of bowling, IPL was Vijay Hazare or whatever you want to take. It's day and night, in my opinion.
Of course, yes.
Okay. And the other thing is, that's one thing. The other thing, in my opinion, is just the focus on the IPL is so much. So many eyeballs are watching. Any failure, any good performance are either highlighted or frowned upon.
Yeah, either way, it's exaggerated, right?
Totally exaggerated. So having said that, now you probably, more than your batting or bowling or whatever you do, the mental strength is probably what you watch in IPL than anything else, in my opinion, because you're with the best of the cricketers in the entire world, and if you're playing, on the other side, if Chris Gayle is playing, imagine how you have to perform to outperform him. I mean, just a fact. So I think more to it than the technique or whatever you want to call that. I think just the mental ability to be on par with the other cricketers and perform at the highest level. And there is so much. It's just not India. In the entire world watches IPL.
Yeah, I think that's how Josh Philippe and many other not just Indians, right? I mean, from Australia, West Indies,
everybody,
South Africa, many of them who played in IPL before their own national team, they got picked because of IPL, not even their own their own local domestic competitions.
Yeah,
right? So for example, Warner too.
If you have to use IPL to enhance the quality of our players, of course, mental strength is automatically happening. But I would say in IPL, we should change the rule to say that a bowler can bowl 5 overs. The game would change. Yeah, if a bowler is allowed to bowl 5 overs, then you have the real story happening, because highly competitive 4 bowlers will really bowl 5 overs completely at you. So you don't have the batsmen bowling.
I think the 5th bowler, you invariably get at least 4 overs of just pie charts that everybody
Well,
can.
everybody gets 4 free overs. We all know that.
Yeah.
And they want it because the
So
number of
and
runs
people
scored.
already bowled 10 overs in one day, right? People already bowled 10 overs in one day. So people already bowled 10 overs in one day. So you just allow 4 bowlers to bowl 5 overs, and you have real good competition now between bat and ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Hey, look, I mean, honestly, that's not going to happen because this is purely for the entertainment. It's not for quality of cricket, obviously. I mean, it's going to be quality of cricket in a different way. But I think purely entertainment, this is for the fans. This is for the people who come and pay the money to play. I mean, and also everything. I don't know. That's going to change. You're right. But you know what? In a way, I like that means it's very hard to balance a team with 4 overs per bowler.
Absolutely. You know what? This will be more exaggerated, and I hope Vinod's rule. I mean, we talked about this rule also last year, that especially now with 2 more teams being added next year, the quality, the bowling quality can actually reduce drastically because
drastically.
I mean,
yes.
Just know that so 5 bowlers in a team, so we already have 40 bowlers, which we already know is not of the greatest quality. At least the bottom 10 are already, you don't need to talk about them. But now with 2 more teams, you're looking at 10 more bowlers.
Look, you know what? If you asked me, I would keep the 8 and keep the level higher than adding 2 more and making it 8. It's not going to be that fun. I think that might, in my opinion, that might fail disaster because people may not watch that many games anymore.
I think it's all pointed towards having this new Ahmedabad stadium in the IPL season. So that's where they just wanted another team from Ahmedabad, and then I don't know. So anyway,
look, my opinion is that, but again, it's not. Yeah.
All right, so we are halfway through, and that's a good segue into talking about IPL 2021, which is starting on April 9th.
By the way, since you bought this Ahmedabad Stadium concept, did you see that what we spoke a few weeks back in the pitch report with our with the person from Bangalore, Casey? We spoke to.
Yeah.
That's become a reality. You know that we can have 4 sides, can have the side screen now in Ahmedabad Stadium.
Yeah,
correct.
So so you can have north, south, and east, west as well on the pitches.
Right.
So something we spoke is a reality now, right? I think this is the first time having both.
Exactly. I think this is the first stadium in the world that can have the pitch on both the directions, I guess.
Both the directions, north, south, and east, west.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So moving to IPL, as we all know, IPL 2020 got delayed because of COVID, and it then was moved to UAE. But IPL 2021 is back in its original schedule, which is April, May. So that means, we will have another IPL within 7 months, which is not bad for the cricket business. But I don't know if it's too much of the entertaining cricket, as so calls it. But anyway, so it starts on April 9th. You have the same old 8 teams. What's happening here is there was some challenge about the scheduling, right? So two aspects. One is that because of again the COVID situation and the quarantining and many other stadiums being available, we now have the entire cricket happening in only 6 stadiums.
6 stadiums, right? Yeah.
Only 6 stadiums, including Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad will be hosting all the 4 playoffs in the end. But then, so Chennai, Bangalore, Kolkata, Mumbai, and Delhi. So we don't have Jaipur, we don't have Hyderabad, and we don't have Punjab.
Punjab. Yeah.
Well, Punjab didn't even play all 7 games in their Mohali for last many years. So because of that, so 3 teams not having their home ground to level out the playing field, now no team is playing any home game.
Correct. Yes.
So RCB will never play in Bangalore. CSK will never play in Chennai. So on and so forth.
Yeah, KKR will never play in Calcutta and everything else. Yeah.
But one thing I noticed, I wonder how it got unnoticed with the teams, or maybe Punjab left, kept it silent. Kings 11, it's not
Punjab
Kings 11 Punjab. It got renamed to Punjab Kings.
Punjab Kings.
But apparently it's not PK, it's PBKS. Anyway, so they are playing 5 of their games in Chinnaswamy, Bangalore,
Okay.
which is kind of a home game for them. With Rahul, Agarwal, Karun Nair, and Kumble being the coach. So anyway,
and also Chris Gale, that's his home.
I know, yeah. So that's amazing. So we kind of have a home team, out of all the other 7 teams. So yeah, that's one news. And the other one was, because BCCI was clever in the sense that they waited till the 4th test was over against England to schedule this, because they wanted to make sure that whether India is going to play the WTC final or not.
Yes.
Because the original schedule they were thinking of would have gone on till June 9th as the final.
Correct, yes.
But because India qualified for the WTC final that is happening in Southampton, not Lords, in England on June 18.
Same days, but different location.
They brought back the schedule so that the Indian test team has more time to prepare. So the finals will be on May 30th. So they now have, I think, 11 or 12 days of double rubbers. There will be 2 games on, I think, 12 or some days, which is probably the highest ever. Like no other season they had so many days of double headers.
I think the Saturday, Sundays are double headers. All of the Saturday, Sundays are double headers. If I saw that, if I remember.
Probably,
right.
And probably a few weekdays as well. So I think that's a great addition, and I hope the test team has enough time, because I don't want to see 2011 repeating, where India won the World Cup and they went on to start the IPL within 6 days after the World Cup final, and so they weren't even allowed to kind of celebrate the World Cup win. And then soon after the IPL, they went to England, where we saw 4-0. Right?
Yeah.
So this time at least, but then another advantage New Zealand has is they will be playing 2 tests in England before the WTC final. So basically WTC final is like their 3rd test, except that it won't be England. So I think they're already ahead in terms of preparation, for the finals. But anyway, we'll get to WTC in another edition. I want to have a WTC special later. So back to the scheduling. As we know, the first game is on April 9th between Mumbai and Bangalore in Chennai. And then the final will be May 30th in Ahmedabad. I think we covered the latest.
Let me ask you this. You know what?
Yes.
Since there's no home, no nothing. I get it.
Except for Punjab.
And also they are going to play not empty stadium, but very few spectators.
Probably
they didn't have to have a finals in Ahmedabad, because you can't have 100,000 people anywhere.
You never know. That's the point. I think they want to have that option open in case they can let the people in. Because it's more than 2 months away. So I mean, it's just a choice, and also I think it just gives them that optics to just showcase this new stadium. I have never seen so many aerial shots of a stadium per game. I think they're kind of overdoing it with Ahmedabad. Like after every over, they go to that aerial shot.
I think they're doing it even for I saw the road safety game that is happening even there for the stadium in Lucknow. The road safety game.
Yeah,
it's everything. The aerial shot is constant now. I think it's a media package they're getting.
Yeah. I mean, especially Ahmedabad being so colorful and beautiful, I think that they're probably overdoing it. But yeah, I mean,
Windy, you can tell me this. I've been watching games, but you remember in Dubai, we had the Ring of Fire, which people they lost catches. Did anything almost? They have a similar thing here.
No, I was suspecting that. I saw that.
Did you see anything happening? That kind of a situation where they drop catches or whatever? I don't.
No, the lights are different. The lights and angles have been slightly different. Harsha Bogle and Green Swan actually talked about it. Because when I saw the photos before the game started, even before the test, the day-night test started, I was thinking, oh, not again. There will be a lot of drop catches like Dubai. Because of the ring light. No towers. but no, I mean, looks like they might probably have learned from that experience.
Yeah, because I didn't see anything happening. Because I watched quite a few
yeah.
games, as I said, nothing happened. But I was just wondering if there was
No,
any.
it's much better. It's much better than Dubai in terms of. I think I think it's also because it's much higher, so the intensity, and I think it's different
And
kind of LED
also
light.
the other thing, which is probably the stadium is much larger. It's not like a Dubai stadium, which is probably more like closed than this
No,
thing.
I
I think
think the only thing I'm worried about is that the good thing is these are LED lights. If they go off, they can come off very soon, so they don't have to warm up. So the game delay is
Right.
not very high because if power failure happens, they can and the power backup comes up, they can come back very soon. Whereas the other tall lights require almost like 20 minutes of warm up time, and they go in
Yeah.
series. So that problem is gone away during a power failure. But most importantly, I'm worried about LED lights are very sensitive to fluctuations, and I don't know how in India will handle the fluctuations, right? And we saw that when the game started in the first test match itself, we had a power loss, right? We had light go off and then come
Oh, I
back.
didn't see that.
it went and
I
came
don't know
back.
how.
But
So,
yeah, I
Okay.
mean,
I
again,
think
just those are the side things that I want to ask because I never noticed anything that drop catches. It was not a situation, but I thought if there's anything to that.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, we should have brought that up too. I was worried about that since Dubai, but yeah, apparently, I mean, or maybe it's just been fortunate that we haven't seen that many drops so far. But I do remember Bogle bringing that up, and I know some changes in that. Good. Yeah. Glad you brought that up. Good.
I need to drop off, folks. I need to go to another call. Sorry
Oh,
about
okay.
that.
Okay. Hey, good talking to you, Vande. See you soon.
Yeah.
Hey, think about the conversation we had last
Yes.
week, guys.
Yeah. I started the doc. I'll start sharing. Yeah.
Just a quick reminder. That's all. Okay.
Then so IPL, yeah, we'll talk a lot more about IPL this time, because there's no other cricket happening for those 7 weeks when IPL begins. But back to India, England. I don't know how much of importance will be given to any of the ODI games. There is no ODI World Cup. There's nothing.
No, nothing there.
I think between WTC and T20 World Cup, I think ODI is now probably the least favored format until the WTC finals, and of course the T20 World Cup. But
look, see, even just on a different note, yeah, it's a great cricket, but they will have T20 ಇವಾಗ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. Then they will have the ODI. Then they'll go back and play a month and a half of T20, and immediately they're going to go back to England to play a 5-day test. And you know what? I question. I mean, there's a 20 days preparation. I get it, but they have to go acclimatize. They have to be in England. It's a cooler. June is still cool in and it's early part of summer, not the real summer. 18th is still not summer technically because June 21st is summer. That's one thing. Early part of cricket in England is always tough, and with
New Zealand having played 2 tests before that.
Not only that, and they have fast bowlers par excellence. I mean, they have bowled.
I mean, it's probably. I mean, there's no surprise in saying that it's more of a home game for New Zealand than India.
Correct.
From the conditions, you can say because New Zealand and England are pretty similar in terms of wind and cold and the swinging challenges. Just like Australia and South Africa, you can say the same. As a southern hemisphere bounce and
more than that, I think the New Zealand would have acclimatized much better. Because they're there for a month before.
And they don't. And India, I don't see any official like a practice matches scheduled for India in England before the final. I mean, I know they are playing a couple of practice matches before the England Test series, but surely not before the finals. So, I mean, if the Test match was in India, great. 20 days is more than enough for an Indian team to play Test in India, but. And again, considering how badly India starts in the first test of any series, this one being only test.
Let me ask you this, what, which I haven't followed. Maybe you have.
Yeah.
Are they going to select the Indian team for the WTC and also for the tour,
No.
or it's a separate?
Separate. Oh, I mean, India is coming back after WTC.
Oh, they're coming back, is it?
Yeah. Because I mean, the England test begins in August first week, so you have 5 weeks. I think India is playing a 3-game series against Sri Lanka between that. So they're definitely coming back. So it's only it's only WTC and back. Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. And so back to the T20 series, the decider. Any surprises you expect in the deciding game?
Hopefully, KL Rahul fires.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want him to fire because he's better batsman than what he has shown so far, obviously, because you need him. Look how the things change. Before the last series ended, wherever it was, where he kept wickets and Rishabh Pant was nowhere to be found in the map in that conversation.
Yes.
All of a sudden, he is number 1 on the chart now.
Yeah, number 1 in all 3 formats now. And just to rub it into many of the purists who don't want Rishabh Pant, there have been many sayings, including Nasir Hussain, who said Rishabh Pant will save the test match.
Yeah, you know what? No, the conversation around him was very, very high. I mean, I heard, Atherton talking very highly, Robert Key talking about very highly. Nas.
That was a good talk actually. The including Bumble after the second test. There were some good talks, especially when the pitch started turning. So
correct. And also even
the one comment that encapsulates the entire Pant situation, which I've heard, and you guys have probably seen it too, is just the fact that he was able to completely change the complexion of a test match and turn it around 3 times in 3 tests. The sentiment is that most players don't even do that in an entire career.
Exactly.
To turn an entire match or series on its head with their 1 innings 3 times, most players don't do it in their whole career, and he's done it in 3 matches.
Exactly. It's like Ben Stokes a couple of years back, where he was everywhere in T20, ODI, Test match. Take the Headingley Test or the World Cup final, or there were many situations. So I think that's the breakthrough here. Every athlete dreams of saying, I want to win. And in terms of cricket, you can also say I want to sing test matches, but you don't have that luxury in many, in any other sport. You can say I want to save my team, right? You win or lose, but having like you said, Sydney, Brisbane, and then a couple of Ahmedabad innings, amazing. So
look, hope obviously we are recording this, and that might come back to bite me. Honestly, if you ask me, would he be in the Indian team in the next 3-4 years? I'm not too sure yet. The reason is he's too good to be true, in my opinion. Look,
that's a compliment, actually. I think Pant will take that as a compliment when Somu says he's too good to be true.
He is. I would never believe it.
I know.
A month ago, I wouldn't do that. Because I still question his wicket keeping abilities. Let's not, because he's doing so well otherwise that those things are looked over. I get it. He might drop a catch, whatever.
Yeah, he will have some bad time. He's only 21.
I don't have a problem in having a bad time, but my longevity, can he keep this same momentum going? A test after test after test, 20 after 20, T20. That is, I don't know. Again,
I think simply put, I think if I have to rephrase Somo's question, what Somo is asking is, can Pant be another version of Kirmani or Dhoni?
Not even. No. I go even higher. I go, would he be a, Gilchrist?
Okay. Wow.
That is, look, if you compare him right now.
Surely not Sangakkara though.
No. He's almost a Gilchrist. He can do.
I would think so. Or to put it the other way, he's probably the closest to Gilchrist at current time.
No, that's what I mean. I'm saying, he's probably on par or even better in the first 5, 10, 15 tests. I don't think Gilchrist did what he did. So, And then, you know,
Yeah, he had
said,
a-
if you put this back, you know, in 2024, probably I will be licking my wounds on this. And
Yeah.
you know, too
Interesting.
good to
Yeah.
be
I mean,
true. I think.
philosophically, we all know that the things that you know the things that you know rocket to the top also come down as quickly as they go up, right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes you want that
Exactly.
steady rise because
Yeah.
then you know you can sustain that. Sometimes things rocket and things come back, and I say this from both sides, right? The team selection side as well as like the player side in terms of the performance that they put, right? Because like you guys are saying, he was literally not on the white ball team going into Australia. They only selected him for the tests, right? And that we thought, oh, maybe that's an opening for someone like Sanju Samson or somebody else to come in and kind of make a difference. And you know, who knows, right? We didn't know what was going to happen. Or KL Rahul
Exactly.
can take the gloves internationally just like he does in the IPL. Just within weeks, if not a couple months, like the whole story has changed.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, to say that the other side, which is the team selection side, the same people, right, like Ravi Shastri and whoever else, I'm not saying like I believe him or I don't when he talks. It's just that they have been known to say things like you know, Kuldeep Yadav is our first first selection spinner or first whatever spinner going overseas.
Our first choice overseas spinner. Yeah.
Right, and this guy is nowhere to be found at all.
Yeah.
Like he's not even given a chance anymore. You know, he's not even on the team. He's lucky to carry drinks. You know what I mean? And we're talking. This is in 2018, so 2 years later, 2020, he's nowhere to be found. 2021 just started, right? So I think it echoes what my dad was saying.
I think that also it's kind of a backhanded compliment to the Indian team management, if you want to say, because that means they're not just carrying the reputation, you know, they're carrying the members based on reputation, right? I mean, you know, Kuldeep had done it many times earlier, but when it came to the actual day, they picked the right horses for the courses, as you know, as the saying goes. Because when Kuldeep was given a choice, even in India, right, in one of the tests, he was nowhere compared to Ashwin and Akshar too. So I mean, Kuldeep is really out of form, and he's definitely not even the top 6 spinners.
No, you know what? One thing you have to give. You know what? There's a tremendous amount of talent coming through.
Exactly.
Okay?
That's what I'm saying.
No question
so
about
now
it.
they're going. So that means that, you know, they're going with the current team. So as of today, yes, Pant is your first choice. That doesn't mean he's your first choice for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
right?
and I mean,
So things
here's
will
the
change.
thing. So a couple thoughts on that. Firstly, it's that you know, I'm not trying to defend Kuldeep here, but the point is, like, you still have to give people a chance and back them so they can build their own confidence, right? And that also parlays into the next point, which is the best analogy that I can give is that like those people that try to speed and they cut people off and they overtake to try and get an edge when they're driving to get somewhere quicker. But if there's a red light, everybody comes to a stop, right? So those 1 second that you might gain by going 5 miles per hour faster or trying to cut somebody off, at the end of the day, it makes no difference when you get to your destination 20 minutes later. So right now, the Indian team management might be getting away with picking the right people and being very kind of frenetic in nature, picking the lead horse, and they go and, you pick certain people and then they go perform immediately, whether it was like Washington Sundar, Shardul Thakur in the tests, or the Pant in the test, or now we have Natarajan. Now you come to this and it's like
Kishan and Surya.
They're all firing. But at some point, I promise you, there is an element of luck there, and you have to also have the restraint to back people and persist with them. Maybe similar to how they're doing with KL Rahul and whoever else. Hopefully, going forward.
It might be denting some confidence in
totally. You're screwing like more people's career than you are bolstering the people's.
No. Take the name of Unmukt Chand. That one kid, he just lost out on everything. He was probably the brightest and the most beautiful batsman I've ever seen.
You should go back and see his 100 in the Under-19 World Cup final, in Canberra against Australia. I mean, that was one of the greatest Under-19 innings.
Think about that. Look, he's nowhere to be found. He doesn't even play for Delhi anymore. I mean,
he quit cricket already. I mean, I think he was
done.
He had some other. I think maybe mental issues, whatever.
Like whatever it is, the mental issues. What happens is when you hit a beautiful 100 in Canberra, you come back and do whatever, then you're out. Then it is bound to hit your head somewhere along the way.
For every one person that that fails and then they get docked down and then they have to come back twice as hard and then they succeed. For every one of those, there's 5 people that do well, then fail, then you never see them on the scene again. And I think that the Indian team can certainly run
Karun
into
Nair,
a situation.
You can add Karun Nair, Kuldeep Yadav.
No. You don't go too far. Mayank Agarwal.
Mayank Agarwal, exactly.
He's not even in the team.
He may never come back.
Which is unfortunate because he's such a good talent, and I can totally see the Indian team running into this thing where they're getting lucky every match, every series right now where somebody fires, but 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, you suddenly have a huge purple patch for the entire team in a format, and you have suddenly have 25 players, but none of them have been backed consistently and none of them can perform for you, right? It just takes that the same luck you have where 1 or 2 or the whole team fires can be the same probability of luck where nobody fires for a longer duration of time. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. All right, so that's, I think it's
a tragedy of riches. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
it is. Look, you know what? I think the Brisbane and the Melbourne and the Adelaide changed the concept of cricketers who are proven cricketers. Anybody can come and get wickets. Anybody can come and test. How long that's going to last, I don't know that. Hopefully it's good because, again, right now there is talent. At least they're performing. How long? They're not going to though. Look, Ishan Kishan, great. He's getting runs T20. But are you going to play him in 50 overs? I don't think so. Are you going to play him in test? You don't think so. Because that is what it is. It's an appetite, immediate, feel good appetite. You feel good about it, then you go back and look at, did I really do that? You'd say having a great dinner, it's so bad for you. You have eaten, you enjoyed it, and after that, I was like, oh my God, did I eat this?
I think that in a way they are looking for these kind of fairy tale stories to say that, wow, look at Ishan Kishan, look at Natarajan, where he was, and now where. So instead of grooming everybody and identifying the talent and staying with them when they are low. If you keep on bringing new guys and shoving the others out, I think like you said, it might turn into a bad disease that goes unnoticed for a long time.
You take a current situation right now. Let's say you drop Rahul tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what? He may never come back. You lost out a great batsman.
Look at that. Actually, it's unfortunate that it's happening to Karnataka more often. But with all these new guys now, I think Manish Pandey is out forever.
Manish Pandey is out. Yeah, right now
he was out this series. I thought he was dropped, but apparently he has some big injury. So that's why he didn't play for Karnataka as well. So, but when he recovers,
where is he going to play?
For India team now? I don't know.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for KL Rahul to come back to the test team for years. KL Rahul has been waiting to come back to the test team for years, and it's likely not going to happen anymore.
I think
we're still in that experimental stage where he failed as an opener, but they want to try him in the middle order. We haven't even seen him come to the middle order. He just cannot. He's knocking on the door, and there's no place for him.
This happens.
Maybe when Pujara or Rahane retires, we never know. But but I think, we'll talk about WTC later. But just to wrap up this current run of test form, they might go with Pujaras and Rahanes for the WTC. But I think after that, with the England tour, we might see a lot more changes in terms of that. But I don't mind.
They have to. They have to look. They have to do that. The reason is, look. 21 is too young to groom to a test cricketer for the long run. The sweet spot is Rahul's spot, 27, 28, 29. But they've played enough cricket. They know what it is, and they've been in the system for long. Their mental abilities are probably much more firmer than the 21, 22s.
Yes.
I think that is because you're going to lose out some high quality cricketers because of these things, what's happening, because there is a glut huge talent coming. Again, it's all momentary. It's all IPL cricket. So anyway, I think we have to end on a high note, but it is what it is. But I just thought I would bring it up.
I know. Yeah, good talk. After a small gap we had. So it was all about T20, a little bit about Test, lamenting about the what do you call the underlying underlying lava, where which can explode in a couple of years if it goes unnoticed, I guess. Anyway, but yeah, I mean,
next week, Bharat, would you have seen one more 50 over cricket or no? Yes, right. I think
Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Okay, we'd have seen one. Okay,
we'll see one. So we'll complete the. Yes. So that again, I'll have to end with the T20 series decider prediction. Somana.
England 3-2.
Vinay.
I think England 3-2.
I'll go with India. Yes. Even more so if Rohit is captaining.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Sure. Now you're Mumbai Indians now.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, I think even with Kohli, I think India will win this decider.
No, I want to see. What happens is I want Rohit
and Rahul.
That gives an opportunity to see how he manages the Indian team.
Yeah, exactly. And one other thing to note. I mean, yes, it's in India. I mean, it might be different elsewhere, but considering the fact that India haven't been at their best yet, and also I can say England is actually at its best so far. You can't really pinpoint and say, oh, England is missing out on this or whatever, right? I mean, everybody is performing well. Bowling has been exceptionally good.
Yeah.
Batting is doing well. Even Stokes did great today, except for the number one T20 batsman, David Malan, which was always going to be tough in India. I think, because that's why he didn't go that high in IPL as well, because they know his batting style is somewhat like Guptill. It's very similar to Guptill's and others who do great.
But there's a difference in Guptill does not play that many dot balls. He may not get runs, but he plays a lot of dot.
Yeah.
One down in the first 2-3 overs. He plays like 10 dot balls out of 15 or 18.
Exactly.
That kills the entire thing. I think that's where I think, oh my God, I think he plays a lot of dot balls. I'm a little, but he's T20 number one in the world. But
yeah, because he never played in subcontinent pitches for a long time, and he stat padded so many runs with in Australia and England and everywhere else.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's bad. I mean, he'll probably be top 10 for a long time. But I'm just saying that I think the teams know, and the IPL teams are also smart enough to know where he fits.
If you didn't follow cricket and if you watched his 4 innings here, I said, who is this guy, kind of a thing?
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I had not seen him play.
Except for Malan. Yeah. So people who are yet to fire are, if you can say at least on paper, Malan, but then you have Rohit and Rahul who haven't yet fired.
Yeah.
And then England bowling at its best. Maybe there will be one off day for Archer or Wood. So I think there's more chances of India winning the decider, especially at home. But I don't want to get into the
We'll come back and next Thursday and talk about it.
We'll come back and talk about the ODI prediction.
Yeah. Okay.
After the first game. All right. See you, everybody.